You always know a channel scraping the barrel when it does a joystick roundup. Yep, back in episode 50, which seems like forever and ever ago, I did a joystick roundup of some of the joysticks I had here already. And kind of came to the conclusion that the PowerPlay Cruiser, the Zip Stick, and the Cheetah Bolix handheld controllers as well were the best choice. I think I also recommended the Cheetah Bug back then as well, although I've slightly revised my opinion of that since because mine's not holding up too well. But I've used some of the channel's Patreon funds to gradually acquire some more joysticks for a second feature because I wanted to see some more of the weird and wonderful stuff out there, plus a couple that I'd used back in the day and owned that I wanted to get in and try. So we have a big selection in front of me, which I'm going to make disappear. Right, I now have a dangerous tower of joysticks on my right because I've put them all there and they're probably going to fall on me. And we're going to start off with the Competition Pro, which I reviewed on the original video. In fact, here's the one I reviewed on the original video. That's the modern USB remake, which I thought was pretty rubbish. Didn't quite feel right. It has these horrible buttons that just... Well, look, that button's already stuck down there. Just not very nice at all. Your button gets stuck down. It feels wrong. It's quite well built. It says a Competition Pro made in China, but it's, yeah, not very good. But it does have those extra buttons up the top for modern games, if you can see there, but not recommended. Somewhat tainted my view of the Competition Pro because it's not one I used that much back in the day. I never owned one. My mates had one, never really thought that much of it. But I got this one from a shop in Bude in Cornwall. He's a guy up the top of the main drag there. Actually, no, off the side road. I'll put in details below. But he has a kind of I don't want to say cash converters because it's better than that. A mobile phone type shop with a bit of retro stuff in there. And he had a box full of joysticks there that had just come in. And I saw this and also an Amstrad JY2. And he wanted a little bit too much for the JY2, although I bought it. But he threw in this. So this is the Competition Pro. A proper one from back in the day. It's the clear one. So you can see all the gubbins on the inside, including the vital steel shaft. And how the joystick works there, if you can see that. Big difference between this and the modern remake. Feels much, much nicer. And none of the buttons jam. All absolutely fine. Is it as nice as the Zip Stick and the PowerPlay Cruiser, which are the kind of gold standards for these things? Not quite. I think the Zip Stick has a nicer feel to it, but this is very solid, and you can see why people like these. Although it's a bit worrying when you move it around how much the wires inside move around. Seeing how much force went on these joysticks. It's very securely put in, but yeah, with the clear ones, you see, you can see those wires jiggling around there. The Competition Pro is still regarded as the gold standard by many. I can't really disagree. It's not my personal choice, but one I quite like. I'd live with it. Certainly, I could live with it. Now, I said I got another joystick at the same time. What the guy wanted, well, he thought was worth a lot of money, but actually isn't, was this, an Amstrad JY2. Now, what's special about the JY2? It's for use with an Amstrad computer. Amsoft, and socket included for a second joystick. That's the thing. Contour grip, suction feet, cap, top and side fire button. And yeah, 150 centimetre long collecting lead. Let's open it up, shall we? I had one of these back in the day. My mate sold me one for 50p. So there's just a Competition Pro next to it. And I'll tell you how much I paid for these. I paid £15 for the JY2 box, and he threw in the Competition Pro for free. And it's Cash Storm imbued. Carl, who served me, who I think's the owner. Nice guy, chat to him when I'm in there. pop in a couple of times a year. Sometimes he has stuff, sometimes he doesn't. These were just boxed that had come in that he was just going to sort out, see if they worked or not, and sell them. But there you can see it next to a Competition Pro. As I say, that's the one that's worth the money. I think he thought I was going to sell these on eBay, but no. I'm sad enough to collect these things and have a YouTube channel where I talk to people of a similar mind. Anyway, here's the JY2. And it's an Amstrad joystick. And I'm just going to move it around there so I can get onto it. And it is the cheapest thing ever. This one's not been used much. I can tell that because it still clicks very well. It's not micro-switched. It's those little bubble switches on the circuit board inside. It has 2 fire buttons, which are horrible to use. No auto fire, because this is an Amstrad. Couldn't possibly spend an extra 10p on giving you an auto fire, could they? But what it does have on the back is that second joystick port. Now what that does, and I'm going to create a loop here for you and end the universe by doing this. But the idea is you plug in your second joystick there, and then your mate you've got 2 players on an Amstrad. Be warned, don't do that on any other computer, because I suspect it probably could cause damage. I've seen these bundled with other computers sometimes, and I don't know what the impact would be, especially on a C64, which can be quite sensitive to these things, of actually having some of those signals sent through. So be warned of that. As I mentioned, you can play 2-player with this. And I had one which cost me 50p briefly. So you play 2-player games with your mate. And what you noticed was, and I can't remember the precise combination you need to do this, but you could be playing Italy 1990 with your mate, and you'd go, no, don't worry, I'll take the JY2. You have the other joystick. And he'd be on goal, and I can't remember the combination, but if you held down right and press fire, he wouldn't be able to shoot. He would not be able to press fire, and he wouldn't know what happened. So be on goal, do that. Oh, sorry, you missed. Never mind. Never mind. Because there's conflicts with this. They don't. Joystick fitters on the CPC all seem to do this, and it's not just the JY2, it's just there are certain conditions and certain types of games where, yeah, you can create conflicts and it doesn't work very well. Joystick's not still shafted, so I wouldn't be using one of these today. My one, in fact, snapped there. Can't remember what game I was playing. It's just plastic, and now this is 35 years old. I would not recommend using one of these under any circumstances at all. It will break. The only thing holding that together is a bit of plastic. There's no shaft. Look at this Competition Pro. Still shaft through the middle. That's going to last, even if the board doesn't eventually breaks. That steel shaft ain't going anywhere. JY2 is cheap, cheerful, Amstrad tat, basically. And while you might think, oh, clicky when you first get it, no, that will not last, and it's pretty nasty, I'm afraid. Here, Governor. I want to see something a bit special, a little bit exotic, different. Got something a little bit here interesting for you. It's the Quickshot. What is it? The Quickshot 9. The Quickshot 9, which is this thing here. As you can see, it's huge. It's the biggest thing known to man. It is not a trackball. It is a proper joystick made by Spectre Video in Hong Kong. I saw them on eBay. I had to buy. I'd seen them back in the day. And the idea is you can go left or right-handed, and there's a switch on that side to switch around which way you're going to use it, and auto fire on the other side as well. And you do that when you're playing your games. And use the other fire, and it makes it's not just because this is old, it just makes a horrific noise the entire time. It's huge, it's noisy. I cannot see what on earth anyone was possibly thinking when they sold this, let alone designed it. So yeah, this thing is just far too big. It doesn't really work. I can't see the use for it. Perhaps one of you guys can. Perhaps you'll put in the comments what you think this might be used for, but it doesn't really work. Sega control stick, and this looks a bit manky because it's still got the original plastic around there. Not sure if it's supposed to spin or not. I actually wish it didn't, because actually it's quite a nice joystick, arcade style joystick. It's got a springy feel there. Not switched. If it is switched, you can't hear it. It's 2 standard Sega buttons bit in there. But I found this in a kind of not a car boot, but one of those little markets. And yeah, I quite like it, but I wish that top didn't spin, because you end up kind of go, oh dear, it seems to just be a bit irritating. But I like it for Master System games, some Master System games. Others, it doesn't seem to work as well. But I've got no idea if this top is actually supposed to spin or not. Hopefully not, because I think it would be better if it didn't. Meanwhile, as the interceptor buzzes my house, here's a slick stick, and this was sent in by a viewer very kindly about a year ago. Unfortunately, I've lost their details, so thank you if you sent this in. It's a very interesting joystick, not one I'd seen before. Large base, very small top. It's supposed to be emulating an arcade stick, I suppose, but not quite as big on the top. 1 button, and that's it. It's very, very precise. You can't really hand hold it, you have to put it down. Clicks nicely, feels sturdy. Whether that's a steel shaft now, I don't know. I can imagine that's quite good for games like Pac-Man, where you just want to go up, down, kind of like that, very precision things. I can't imagine using that much for arcade kind of shooters, though. That button's going to get on your nerves very, very quickly. But you can hear that clicking action there. It's quite nice. Quickshot, they didn't half like their numbers, and this is the Quickshot 7. New old stock in a slightly orangey plastic here. What does it say? Quickshot 7 Joy Card, limited 90-day warranty. Spectre Video warrants the original consumer purchase. Your Joy Card is free from any defects in material. 90 days from purchase. Well, I bought this about 90 days ago and I haven't tried it yet. Oh, wait. No, I bought 2. Yeah, I opened one. I actually opened it on Twitter to upset people who think things should remain in boxes. Anyway, we'll... No, let's do it. Let's do it. Come on. We're doing it. We're doing it. Look at this, people who keep things boxed. Look at this. Look at it. See? Do you see? Do you see? Ha 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 ha. That's upset some people, isn't it? Saddos. Yeah, this is a Quickshots. This is a Quickshots. I love doing that. I love doing that. Quickshot 7. Right, and we've got 2 now. All unopened. All open now. And the idea is you hold it in your hand like that, and you control the joypad like that. And it is that way up because you've got the logo that way up. It's quite a bizarre thing to use. You go up, down, left, right. It's like a big button that moves around. It's kind of... You can see why they didn't build any more joypads like this. This is why Nintendo, Sega, Sony, Microsoft have gone, yeah, you know, the kind of standard joypad way of doing things. No, we won't. That's a Quickshot as well. Won't do that. No, no, no. What we're going to do is this kind of joypad. But it actually kind of works. It actually kind of works. And it works if you're left-handed or right-handed, because you can control that with your thumb there like that. It's not great. It's not great at all. But they're not bad. And you can, as they pick these up brand new on eBay. And look, I can smell this one. Smells of kind of electronics that would probably cause you to have some kind of death due to outgassing of plastics or whatever they call it. QC pass though. Yeah, that's the Quickshot 7. Interesting. You're not going to play games with this all the time. Interesting to own though, certainly. While we're on Quickshots, here's a Quickshot goodness knows what. It's actually a Quickshot wireless joypad, as I knock the microphone and I bring everything in for you to see. Yes, you can get these standard Quickshot joypads, can't you? Wide. This is wireless. They are infrared. Unfortunately, it's been quite expensive on eBay, sold as untested. They don't work. I might have to get someone to have a look at these at some stage. It absolutely doesn't work. The computer connects in via these things here. This kind of breakout cable. It's obviously normal Atari joypads. What are they? Are they Nintendo Entertainment System sockets? So you could use this with a net. I don't know. That could be for anything. I've got no idea. I'm not going to be... This isn't a channel that kind of starts don't try and make things up. I've got no idea. Know nothing about the NES. I assume that's a NES connector. It doesn't know any kind of connector that I've seen. But I don't know anything about the NES, and I plan to keep it that way. So that's your receiving unit. It doesn't appear to run on batteries. I assume it gets power from the unit, which it takes 2 joysticks, so perhaps there's enough power on 2 joysticks to power it, which might be interesting on an Amstrad, but we've only got 1 joystick. These are the controllers. They take 6 AA batteries. Yep, and as you can see, there has been leakage. These were in a pretty bad way when they arrived. The other one's probably got it as well, in fact. Because, oh no, the other one's actually pretty good. This one isn't, but that's not the reason they don't work. There is something much more fundamental going on. As for the joypads themselves, well, they're similar to other Quickshot joypads, really. You've got a button on the base unit, the receiver, for MSX or Sega MSX or Atari auto fire systems or second button systems. You can switch which of the joysticks you are on, presumably using that, and that includes a power off and on and an auto fire, which is quite stiff. They're all right. They're pretty much, as I say, like other Quickshot joypads, but unfortunately I can't test these out and how reliably they work because this receiver is currently bust and I'm not sure how to fix it unless I can find someone very kindly to look at that for me. Final joystick of the day is the one I got just after I did the last joystick review. It's a Commodore Plus 4 joystick. I'm pretty sure I didn't include this one last time because I don't think I had the Plus 4 back then. It's different because Plus 4s have these funny connectors on them. And they look like S-Video connectors. No, they don't have the same center things because Commodore wanted to sell joysticks because of Commodore. So they didn't have a standard Atari port. No, they put these things on there instead. If your joystick ports are a little bit rusty or a little bit corroded, you can have terrible problems getting these tiny little pins to connect. So to bear in mind, if you've got one of these joysticks, it doesn't work. Joystick may be fine, computer may be fine, may need some contact cleaner. Joystick itself feels very solid, but don't let that lull you into a full sense of security because there's no real kind of... it's all right. It's very loose. You have to hold it down. There's nothing to hold it down because it's just going to... It's not like the Competition Pro, which doesn't have things on the bottom, but actually you've got to... Look at that. You see, it can move around a little bit, but not much. So really go on top. You can generally get that, but this is just the... Yeah. But it works with the Plus 4, which is a massive advantage because nothing else does unless you've got an adapter. So the joysticks we've looked at, the favourite has got to be the Competition Pro, the proper, real deal. It feels, much better than this modern equivalent that's just all completely wrong. They may have made it look right, but that does not feel anywhere near as nice. Of course, this one's used, and so it's going to have a bit more play in it, but that's still wrong. And the buttons, as I say, don't stick down. Whereas there you go, look, it's stuck down. It's just absolute tat. Whereas you can't make that one stick down. That's my pick of the crop of the best ones. Anyway, of the interesting ones here, the Sega Control Stick is really nice as well. Wish the top didn't spin round, but it does. And also worth looking at these Quickshot, I forget which ones they are, the Quickshot 7s. Because I think it'd be quite interesting, although I'm not sure how long you'd want to play with one of these. But yeah, that's a roundup of joysticks here on ChinnyVision. Perhaps in a couple more years I'll have a load more to look at. And thanks to the person who sent in the Slick Stick, and of course the channel's Patreon supporters who funded most of these other joysticks.